Most men talk simply because silence makes them nervous. You blurt out thoughts before they're ready, rushing to fill every quiet gap in a room. Every time you do, you are bleeding respect, power, and opportunity. You do this because no one ever taught you how to speak. They taught you polite compliance. Please, thank you, yes sir. They never taught you how to wield your words as tools or as tactical weapons to control your environment. We are going to fix that. I will walk you through a mechanical 5-step protocol for powerful communication. By the end of this, you will have a precise blueprint to deploy in your next high-stakes conversation. If you apply these steps, you will stop being ignored background noise. You will learn to command attention without ever raising your voice. Step 1 begins before you utter a single syllable. When you walk into a new room, your instinct is to start performing. Stop. Your first job is to observe and listen completely. Watch the physical signals around you. Notice who is leaning forward and who is leaning back. See who holds eye contact effortlessly and who breaks it. Pay attention to the nervous fidgets and the relaxed postures. These physical tells help you identify who actually holds influence and who is merely pretending. Notice this diagram on the left. This is how most people listen. Your brain is frantic, already drafting your next response. When you do this, you completely miss what the other person is actually saying. You need to operate like the radar on the right, scanning your target, calmly collecting data. When you truly listen to a complete thought, people reveal the information you need to handle them. Their specific word choices, their hesitations, and the topics they actively avoid all expose their underlying fears or desires. Every conversation is an exchange of information. The person who collects more data than they give away secures the advantage. Step 2 is the tactical pause. When someone asks you a question or tries to provoke you, do not answer immediately. Take a single, deliberate physical beat, breathe, and gather yourself before you respond. Look at this timeline. That 2-second gap between stimulus and response achieves a specific effect. It makes your opponent uncomfortable. People hate dead air. They will often start talking again to fill the void, giving you more information than they originally intended. The biggest threat to this gap is your own emotion. When you get angry or excited, that pause vanishes. You react instantly. That emotional reflex makes you say things your calm mind would never approve, giving your opponent the exact reaction they wanted. Sitting comfortably in silence proves to the room that you are not reactive. You are delivering a chosen response, entirely detached from their provocation. Step 3 requires a shift in how you formulate sentences. Treat your words as a limited magazine of ammunition. You wouldn't fire blindly into the air just to make noise. You wait for a clear target, aim carefully, and make the shot count. Here is the mental process. Draft your response in your head, then immediately and ruthlessly cut the word count in half. Let's look at this sentence. I think we should probably consider maybe changing the approach. We strip out every hedge, every qualifier, and every piece of padding. What is left is the core directive. Change the approach. The resulting sentence is blunt, clean, and delivered without an apologetic tone. You state the fact, and then you stop talking. Weak speakers do the opposite. They circle their main point from multiple angles, adding layer after layer of cushion words to avoid giving offense. Their actual message is buried under the padding. Scarcity creates value. The person who uses fewer words demonstrates higher conviction. When you speak rarely and precisely, the room learns that your input is worth waiting for. Step 4 is calibrating the physical instrument of your voice. Start by speaking noticeably slower than your default pace. Nervous people rush because they fear being interrupted. Speaking slowly signals that you aren't worried about losing the floor. Next, pull your projection down. Stop speaking from a tight, tense throat. Project from your chest. A grounded voice establishes a stable baseline of authority. Look at the difference between these two deliveries. The bottom waveform shows exactly what you need to do at the end of a sentence. Place a hard, heavy verbal stop. Never let your volume taper off into nothing. Trailing off at the end of a thought is a physical manifestation of doubt. It tells your listener that you don't fully trust your own idea. When you master your pace, your tone, and your stops, you anchor the room's attention. A steady delivery makes even simple ideas sound more authoritative. Step 5 is deploying the most useful word in your vocabulary: no. Most people struggle to use it. They actively avoid it because they are afraid of the conflict it might cause. This is the correct execution. When a request doesn't serve your objectives, you decline it without an apology, without an excuse, and without any excessive justification. As you see here, no is a complete sentence. If you try to soften the blow by saying, "I wish I could," or "let me think about it," you invite the other person to negotiate for your time. The follow-through seals the interaction. Deliver the no, and then sit perfectly still in the resulting silence. Do not rush in to make them feel better about your refusal. Protecting your schedule with a clear no is the most direct way to keep your focus on your own priorities rather than everyone else's requests. That is the complete framework. Read the room to gather intelligence, deploy the tactical pause, cut your word count in half, calibrate your physical delivery, and use the unjustified no. Executing these steps shifts the dynamic. You stop reacting to the people around you and start setting the pace of the conversation yourself. Here is your assignment. Pick one low-stakes conversation today. Actively practice taking a deliberate physical pause before you respond, and manually cut your intended sentence in half. Controlling your words gives you a level of influence over a room that most people will never realize is possible. Stop speaking to fill space and start speaking for impact.